So I thought it was important to bring up the fact that Diane Feinstein is the worst. She sucks, and nothing made that clearer than the way she handled the confirmation hearing for Amy Coney Barrett. Now, prior to the confirmation hearings beginning, there were Democrats, like I'm talking about establishment Democrats, who were voicing their concern that Senator Feinstein was not up for the challenge, that she would bungle this. And she certainly did bungle it, especially when you consider that Democrats wanted to really emphasize how they felt that this was a sham confirmation hearing, a sham process, given what happened to Merrick Garland, during the last year of Obama's term. And so, look, this is what came out of the confirmation hearing. Everyone's been talking about it. Here's Diane Feinstein, showing some love to her fellow Republican, Senator Lindsey Graham.
A maskless hug. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham and the ranking member, Democratic Senator Diane Feinstein, hugging today at the end of the Judiciary Committee hearing for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. Surprising for a couple reasons. One of them being a lot of Democrats don't think Feinstein has been strong enough on this issue.
Yeah, and one of the groups, an activist group, Demand Justice, that has spent money to oppose Amy Coney Barrett's nomination, actually put out a statement demanding that Feinstein be removed from atop the committee proceedings. She praised Lindsey Graham at the end of the hearing. Before that maskless hug, she said that Graham has been fair. She said, well, this is one of the best hearings that I have participated in. And this comes as Democrats have tried to portray this process, in their view, as a sham process.
So they hug, show a little love to each other. But look, before we chime in, let me just note that this has already been used by Republicans to their advantage. In fact, the Senate GOP account on Twitter put together this cutesy video that I want to share with you all. Let's take a look.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank you. This has been one of the best set of hearings that I've participated in. And I want to thank you for your fairness, and it leaves one with a lot of hopes. Thank you so much for your leadership.
It's just, I think like when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, something like $500 million flowed into Democratic Party like contributions from regular people who were like terrified and horrified. I mean, it's just, and then they just like were like, they took the money and then were like, yeah, we're just gonna do nothing, like literally nothing.
Yes,
just like literally.
Well, we're gonna help the Republicans. Like and I get it. I mean, it's not as though Democrats really had much leverage in this whole process anyway. But like there was no fight, like 0%. Like in the very least, for all those people who spent their hard-earned money on trying to influence this process, I guess, like in the very least, like pretend to fight, like they can't even do that. Because like Diane Feinstein doesn't care to fight. Like she doesn't care to fight about anything. Like she's good. She's doing well. Her husband's doing well based on policies that she's passed that help to benefit the real estate industry in the country. Like she is so far removed from the daily struggles of average Americans. The way she spoke to children from the Sunrise Movement on the issue of climate change, she does not care. She never has. She never will. She especially doesn't care. She's 87 years old. And I'm not trying to be like some ageist, but she's not worried about climate change destroying her life. She's not worried about protecting reproductive rights. She's not worried about how Amy Coney Barrett, something that I think isn't discussed enough, is going to help pass down pro-corporate rulings in the Supreme Court that will harm workers for decades to come. She doesn't care about any of that. She's so far removed from our daily struggles.
Yeah, totally. And by the way, I'm glad that you mentioned that about Amy Coney Barrett, right? Because I think that like a lot of people have been way too fixated on like this sort of weird like ultra Catholic stuff with Barrett and the people of praise or whatever. And I get it; it's like really luridly crazy, like they use words like handmaiden and fair enough, right? But like I don't think that's the big problem, right? Like I think when it comes to stuff like abortion, her politics and her religious views like come together. but it's not like she's like making all of these like pro-corporate anti-worker rulings about economic issues because like the Pope told her to do that, right? I mean, that's not the problem, right? The problem isn't the people of praise part of her background. It's like the Federalist Society part.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's also just it's one of the things that's like so ingrained in Democrats is that it's, if you can't win a fight, it's better to just not fight it. You know what I mean? They don't understand the idea of like dragging something out, making political hay out of something, even if you ultimately lose, you know, on the narrow issue that is at play. This is like true of the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, but like so many other things as well. They don't understand that they could like make an issue out of it, that they have the power to like make more of an issue out of it. Like it's like, it was weird how, in a way, like how just not in like the Amy Coney Barrett thing, like wasn't that prominently, you know, it wasn't like plastered everywhere. It wasn't, you know, like they were just like, they made the calculation that like, oh, look, they have the votes, so it's going to happen. So we might as well just not fight out of it. And that's a view that Republicans don't take. You know, they often will fight something out to the bitter end, even though they know maybe ultimately they'll lose. They just want to, you know, they want to get as much, you know, make it as much of an issue as possible.
Benghazi.
Totally right.
Like, just think about Benghazi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Or like the 10,000 symbolic votes to repeal Obamacare.
Right.
Like when they couldn't actually do it. You know. Yeah. No. Totally. Like it's so like even just on like a like cynical level, like just about winning the election. Like it's
yeah.
I mean, it's like, God, wouldn't you at least want to show your voters that you're trying?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like that, you know, that, you know, showing some fight might like get people like, you know what, maybe like, you know, they're actually on, you know, like, and it's like, they don't even do that. Like, they don't even do that bare minimum of it. It's really shocking.
And look, that I think that is part of Trump's appeal for his base, right? Because regardless of what he does, he at least gives the appearance of fighting on their behalf.
Yeah.
And they love that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's really good at that.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to leave enough time to answer some questions from the super chats. Ben, thank you so much for joining us. This was a great conversation. Everybody check out his podcast, Give Them an Argument. Every Saturday happens. You go live at what time? I want to make sure I get.
Okay, so it's recorded every Saturday from 4 to 6. So if you want to like sit in on the recording, you can do that by joining the Patreon, or if you don't have the $5, trust me, I've been there. You can just send me a DM and and I'll hook you up with the link. But then the nice edited version goes out as a podcast on Monday, and then premieres on YouTube at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Ben.
Really good conversation. I managed to restrain my anger with Nando about the fact that it's been so long since he put out a new episode of his Entourage podcast. So I don't have that in my life right now. But,
I know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right. Apology accepted.
I actually have an interview in the can that I need to edit, and it's just I haven't had time to do it.
All right.
But I will. Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Have a good one, Ben.